Jurassic World's biggest flaw, a complete lack of relatable female characters, is only further underscored by a laughably unrealistic shot of our heroine running away from a dinosaur in heels. Okay, just listen to how sharp, precise, and visual that critique is. That isn't just someone casually saying, I don't really like the movie. No way. That's a critic using a specific, concrete piece of visual evidence to prove a much larger point about the film's flaws. It completely grabs your attention instantly, doesn't it?
Well, welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are going to completely transform the way you watch films. We're going to take you from being a passive movie watcher, someone who just sits back and lets the plot kind of wash over them, into an active, observant film critic. Whether you want to write reviews for a school paper, start your own blog, or honestly just have much better, more convincing arguments with your friends after leaving the theater, you are definitely in the right place.
So here's our roadmap for the Explainer. We're covering 1. The critic's mindset, 2. The double watch method, 3. Evaluating the technical toolkit, 4. Structuring your review, 5. Drafting and evidence, and finally, 6. Traditional versus video formats. Let's just dive right in. Starting with Section 1, the critic's mindset.
Notice the stark contrast and approach between these two mindsets. A casual recommendation usually boils down to a simple thumbs up or thumbs down, right? It relies super heavily on plot summary. This happened, then that happened. It was pretty cool. But a professional critique? That's a whole different ballgame. It's thesis-driven. A pro puts on their director's hat and really looks at the how and the why. They elevate their language, throwing in precise vocabulary, words like avant-garde, disjointed, or uninspired, to describe the actual choices made behind the camera. You're no longer just reacting to the story, you're analyzing the craftsmanship.
Moving right along to Section 2, the double watch method.
Here's the absolute crucial point. It's basically impossible to fully understand a movie's mechanics on your very first viewing. There's just too much going on. So on watch 1, you're just experiencing the plot. You let the story unfold, you feel the emotional beats, and you get a grip on the basic conflict. But watch 2, that is your technical deep dive. This is where you analyze the mechanics. Why did the director choose that specific camera angle? Why did the pacing suddenly get so frantic? You're picking out new points of focus that you probably totally missed the first time around.
So what exactly should you be doing during that second watch? Well, next time you grab your popcorn, bring a notepad. Literally, you need to be taking notes as you watch. Pause the film. Rewind it. If a specific costume, a weird shadow, or a haunting piece of music sticks out to you, jot it down right then and there. These little specific observations, they're the raw materials you're going to use to build the evidence for your review later on.
All right, Section 3, evaluating the technical toolkit. Let's start with a massive foundational element, cinematography. This is the actual art of how the movie is filmed, the lighting, the camera angles, the color palettes. Think about the movie Her. It doesn't just look pretty for the sake of it. The cinematography uses these soft reds and oranges mixed with calming whites to literally build up and then slowly strip away the feelings of love between the characters. Every single frame in that movie feels like a painting designed to make you feel a very specific emotion.
But hey, cinematography is just one tool in the belt. You've also got to listen to the soundscapes and the score. And honestly, sometimes the complete absence of sound is the most powerful tool a director has. Take the movie No Country for Old Men. Its bold lack of music and eerie, dead silence creates this incredibly intense, up-close suspense that literally keeps you on the edge of your seat. Beyond that, evaluate the acting choices. Not just the dialogue, but a subtle facial expression or a physical twitch. Pay attention to the editing and pacing. Look at how the set and costume design contribute to the overall tone. This right here, this is the how of movie magic. Okay, Section 4, structuring your review. So now you've got your notes. Here is your absolutely foolproof blueprint for the review. Paragraph 1 is your intro. You hook the reader, state your thesis, and get the basic facts, like the director and genre, out of the way. Paragraph 2 is a brief plot summary. Who are the characters? What's the conflict? Actually, let me stop right there and give you an explicit warning. Do not break the golden rule of movie reviews. No spoilers, just don't do it. Then, paragraph 3 is where you really shine, the technical analysis. This is where you unpack the cinematography, the sound, and the acting using all those awesome notepad observations. Finally, paragraph 4 is your theme and conclusion. Tie it all back to your thesis, drop your final rating, and give your audience a super clear recommendation on whether it's actually worth their time. Which brings us to Section 5, drafting, editing, and evidence. Let's look at the ultimate golden rule of writing in action: show, don't just tell. A weak observation simply claims, the acting was really good and tense. I mean, that's kind of boring and entirely unconvincing, right? But look at the strong evidence. Instead of just saying it was tense, the writer points directly to the mid-movie prison scene in Fruitvale Station. They describe how the camera literally never leaves the actors' faces, conveying immense tension through merely the flashing of their neck muscles and the tiny movements of their eyelids. Now that is vivid. That is concrete proof backing up your opinion.
Once you have a draft packed with that kind of strong evidence, you absolutely must edit. First, check your structural flow. Does everything actually support the thesis you made way back in paragraph 1? Second, proofread. Nothing ruins a critic's credibility faster than misspelling the lead actor's name or getting the release year wrong. Finally, gather some peer feedback. I highly recommend this method called 3 stars and a wish. Have a friend read your draft and give you 3 positive things they liked. Those are your stars, and 1 area for improvement, the wish. It's a fantastic, constructive way to refine the impact of your writing.
And finally, section 6, traditional text versus video reviews. We've got traditional written criticism, the school papers, the newspaper columns, the blogs, which rely really heavily on formal prose and clever text formatting to make their point. But today, the landscape has completely shifted. We have modern video essays and audio formats on platforms like YouTube that use dynamic movie clips, background scores, and highly engaging vocal delivery to keep you hooked. But here is the vital takeaway for us today. Whether you're formatting text for a local newspaper or recording audio over video clips for the internet, the core blueprint remains exactly the same. You still absolutely need a strong hook, a clear thesis, concrete evidence, and really sharp technical analysis to pull it off. Which brings us to our final thought. We've handed you the mindset, the double watch method, the technical toolkit, and the exact blueprint for writing a compelling critique. So I just have to ask, the next time the lights come up and those credits start to roll, will you just be a passive viewer, or are you ready to pick up your notepad, put on your director's hat, and join the critical conversation? The screening room is yours.